Good afternoon, how are we? Oh, that's darker than it looked a minute ago. Hang on. Is that better? A little bit better. Bit of an odd light though, isn't it? Oh well. How are we? It is Tuesday. Nearly said good morning, but it is... It's 1:10. I've not been sat around doing nothing all morning. Before you say anything, I have been tidying up. What I'm doing at the minute is when I get up in the morning, I'm tidying up a little bit in my room, and then coming and working. Once I've done that, sort of woken myself up. I'm a little bit more positive mood today. Don't really know why, but I'm going to go with it. I've got a lot to do. I've just had an email about the conference that I'm going to next week. And they have sent out the programme for the day, which I'm a little bit worried about because it's now saying hear from other projects and World War I engagement centres, networking lunch, case studies. Sarah, you might actually need to do some work for this one. And they have asked for displays as well for projects. So I need to work on that. I need to also have 2 grant proposals ready to take with me next weekend. Next weekend, it's Tuesday. Next week. So one on Romsey, one on Wenches and Trenches. See if someone will have a look over them whilst I'm there, because there's a part about next steps and reapplying. So that's what I'm going for. And I've also got to get some transport to get me there, because right now they're going to pay for it, but I've not booked it. Should be fine. Trains all the time, so we'll get the train most probably. Did think about driving to Richmond, but it's... Bless you? There's a cat over there. I'm not just saying bless you randomly. But it's harder to then get them to give you the money back. And it's easier with just a receipt to say that you've paid X amount. So yeah, I feel a bit like I'm rushed off my feet. And yet I'm not. I know I can do it. I just need to get my ass in gear. I think being busy will be good as well. Give me a little bit of things to focus on. I also need to find a new platform for my website. So my first year I did it with Wix, and they are brilliant, don't get me wrong. But when you didn't really get any return back from that website, it's a lot of money. So I think it works out nearly £150, £200 just to renew it all again. Not really happy to pay that right now. But with all the events coming, like next year and this conference, I don't know what's going on with my hair today, it's good to have something up there and ready. So I don't want to like just turn it off. So I'm just like downgrading it for a little bit, and then hopefully we'll boost it back up once it's in a better state, and when I'm in a better financial state. 2, I don't really know what else there is to say. Having this camera's a little bit annoying. Hang on a minute. Put that down, that there. And move back. That's better. I can fling my arms about and all sorts now, because you know I love to do that. Yeah. I don't really know what else to say, actually. No, tell a lie. I have been reading Richard's book, Richard von Amden. I think that's how you pronounce it. I've met him, he's a lovely bloke, still don't know how to say his name. The Quick and the Dead, which is a brilliant, brilliant book. I've been reading it since last year, I think. I know it's not a big book, but I keep putting it down and picking it back up, and then like using the snippets of it. Like last night, you really shouldn't read this kind of book before bed. So, just to give you some sort of idea, and I feel like I'm reading from a book, it's not that at all. So, out of all of the army fatalities within World War I, 28%, that's only 28%, were actually married. In a crude roundabout number. Which means they left over 190,000 widows, of whom fewer than a quarter were childless. This then means that 145,000 widows were raising almost 360,000 children under the age of 16. And of these, over 53,000 were struggling to bring up 3 or more on their own. How were we meant to survive? It's crazy. It then goes on to talk about the the ability to remarry, and how some felt that they could never do that because back then obviously it was a one marriage, and it was that kind of commitment. It actually meant something back then. Yeah, and there's other little snippets, like if you, like at the beginning it's just full of notes, pages of which are good, and it's signed, which I love this copy of. It's Gonna Be Loved to Death. Amazing book, amazing collection of books from Richard. Completely recommend his books. But yeah, I've been reading it for so long, and then I realised it's probably not the best kind of book to read before going to bed, and I've got 3 others that are similar. So that's Roses of No Man's Land, Stretcher Bearers. I can't think what the other one is. But there's lots, like all of my books to read are like this. So Christ knows when I'm going to read them, but I really want to get back into reading. I just want to find like a happy little zone for me. I can hear the cat cleaning himself, that's quite funny. Yeah, so not an awful lot going on today. Feeling still a little bit bunged up in myself, so I'm just going to crack on this afternoon, I think, with a bit of work. And then going down to Phil's this evening, have some nice dinner together, and I'll probably do like carry on with a little bit of work, grant work. We shall see. But yeah, this is my check-in for today, so a bit more positive. Yesterday I started a new course which is dealing with self-confidence and anxiety. It's part of the Results with Lucy course. It's free. So far, like, I've only done week 1, so far is just crap. But you can't say things like that. But actually what they're saying makes total sense. You have this area of which they call flow, which is where you're happy, you're confident, and if you get bored, then you're a bit underneath and you're underwhelmed. But then you can get overwhelmed, and that's kind of like the stage before like anxiety and panic attacks, and that's where I get to. And it's full of like negative thoughts, and we then need to find a way of balancing ourselves back into this flow, which is what I'm trying to do with like my reading, my research, because like that is my flow. That's where I'm happy, that's where I want to be. And I'm hoping that, you know, this is a real kick up the backside at the same time of working on me, so that my talk next week is a little bit more professional, I guess is the word. I need to work on that. I think I'll spend a whole day on that, like either tomorrow or Thursday, which will then give me like the weekend to think about it, and then Monday to do tweaks and stuff like that. And then it will be London. I also need to make a meeting with Liz Wagner, who is she's part of the Romsey Festival. So this year I was really lucky to be part of the Romsey Festival. It happens every 3 years, and the next one was a little bit debatable whether it was going to happen because there wasn't enough people helping. And as one of the young projects coming in, they asked if I would join the committee, of which I said yes. But then the first meeting happens to be the same day I do my talk. So Liz asked to meet up beforehand, so I need to arrange that. She probably thinks I've just ignored her. I'm rubbish sometimes with correspondence, but I'll get there. I'm bleeding now. So yeah, there's a lot going on, and I think in my head it's quite overwhelming, but actually when you put it on paper, like, so in my head I'm like, I've got to do this, this, this and this, and then I look at this piece of paper, I ignore the August, it's just what I've got to. There's actually not an awful lot to do. Quite a few of those are big pieces as well, but we'll get there. And of course I need to start thinking about a presentation, a 5-minute presentation on World War One for the Ledger interview, which I'm totally bricking it for, but I think will be an amazing experience. So even if I just get to go up there, meet a few people, meet Paul, we've spoken 1 or 2 times on like Twitter and things like that in conference sort of situations, but I've never like met him face to face. So that in itself will be worthwhile, and I just take every opportunity like that right now as a networking that could offer the potential to get to where I want to. I'm going to leave that here because that's like 10 minutes and I don't want these things to go longer than 10 minutes. What I might do every like week or so is sit down and do a longer blog where I just, or vlog even, where I just download to you where I'm at and what I'm doing. But you'll probably get bored of me sooner or later. Or I will get bored, or I'll get busy and find things to do. But so far, day 2, this is my update, feeling a little bit more positive, feeling a little bit down and ill. But it's the time of year, and because of my EDS, unfortunately I really struggle at this time of year. So that doesn't help on the mind situation. But we've got lots to do. I'm going to power on. I'm really excited with a couple of things I've got to do. And yeah, fingers crossed, people. Fingers crossed. I will speak to you all tomorrow.